Hi friends, welcome! Today we're going to have a simple heart-to-heart. You and I are going to talk about Apex Legends Season 6 with some epic Season 6 footage of some great games I've had in the background. There are a lot of concerns and complaints raised by the Apex community at the start of Season 6. To be fair, from my point of view, I'm actually enjoying Season 6. Maybe not quite as much as Season 5, but Season 6 I'm still finding fun, although I have noticed some of these issues people are talking about. I wouldn't necessarily say they're hampering Season 6 for me, but I thought it's a good idea, let's talk about what these issues are people are talking about. And there have been lots of little complaints, things like audio glitches, spectating glitches, which I've also experienced, and for these I'm not really going to debate them because I think these are just part and parcel with when you've got big game updates. Sometimes you get these little glitches, and they'll be ironed out through the patches that come through Season 6. What I'm going to focus on are kind of the 2.5 main issues I think people are facing, which are causing people to be perhaps not as happy with Season 6 compared to previous seasons. Before I do that though, let me just give my respect to Respawn. Even though there are issues with Season 6, they've heard what people are saying and what people are complaining about, and they managed to release a hotfix within 2 days of the major release, which came with Season 6. That's rapid, and something we wouldn't get from most game developers, I can tell you that for sure. It's one of the reasons why Respawn and Apex Legends are so great, the fact that they are listening to us and they are making changes to make it better for us. Anyway, let's have a look at those topics I mentioned, and I'll explain why one of them is just a half topic and why it's 2.5 topics rather than 3. But let me start with the first issue and the first topic, and I believe this is the Devotion becoming floor loot again. So the Devotion went from a care package weapon to just standard floor loot without much of a nerf. And it's not even just that, it's the fact that it became floor loot and it's so easy to find a Devotion and a turbocharger. And you can also pretty much pick up an extended mag and the other mods pretty easily. So it basically means you can get the Devotion's floor loot and upgrade it to a care package level weapon really easily. And that's the issue we're facing. There was a reason they moved the Devotion into the care package, and that's because they recognised it was overpowered. But if we look at the patch history for the Devotion, there have been very little changes, and the changes we have seen, none of them have actually been nerfs. So while it's recognised the Devotion is overpowered and really strong, we've never really seen any nerfs to kind of fix that. And it was okay because it was moved to a care package weapon, which actually made it a bit rarer and protected the game from this overpowered weapon being everywhere. But now with Season 6 as its floor loot, it's now everywhere, and that's why people are really facing this issue. You can understand why they brought it back to floor loot. Rampart, her meta really needs more SMGs. So it's fair that they brought it back, but without any nerfs, apart from a reduced mag for the Season 6. We can understand why some people are finding it a little hard. Let's have a quick look at some stats as well, just so you can really get the context. So the fire rate for the Devotion is 900 compared to 512 for the Spitfire. That's quite a big difference, but you would always expect a difference with the energy weapons having a faster fire rate, but would you really expect such a big difference? Maybe not. Let's look at the damage per second as well. Again, it's fair an energy weapon would have a greater damage per second, but over 100 damage per second more than the Spitfire, which is a weapon in its same class, is that fair? I don't know. Considering the damage is only 1 more for the Spitfire for a standard body shot, does that really seem fair to have such a higher damage per second and fire rate? Finally, let's also look at the time to kill, because the Devotion is 0.95 seconds versus 1.22. While that may seem small, it's quite a big difference for a game like Apex Legends. It's certainly enough to take out your squad way faster than you can take out the enemy squad. Obviously there are some other factors that are meant to balance out the Devotion a bit more, like recoil, but as I said and as you saw in the patch notes, none of these have really been adjusted to fit with the game. And again, this isn't really me complaining from a personal perspective, I'm just trying to give you the balanced view of why people might be complaining about the Devotion. Let's have a think about what some potential solutions could be, because actually there are a few. For example, people are asking for the Devotion to become a care package weapon again, this is a fairly good solution, right? If it goes back into the care package, it's a lot rarer, we don't experience it so much, and this then doesn't become so much of an issue. Another option is to just nerf the devotion. This would probably be, I guess, the simplest, by releasing a patch. I know they already released the patch, and those stats I just shared weren't based on the new patch, but they've only reduced the damage from 17 to 16. They haven't really nerfed it too much. So if they nerfed it a bit more, not just the damage, but maybe changing the fire rate and some of the other things, just to bring it down slightly, I think that would definitely help with the meta for the devotion to fit better with what we've got in the game currently. The final option actually connects to my second issue, and I think people are having issues with the armor as well. And potentially, if the armor was adjusted to fit the power of the devotion and some of the other weapons, then again we wouldn't be having this issue. However, let's talk about that second issue because it fits in with this. They changed the armor meta massively in Season 6. We land with level 0 Evo armor, and the armor HP was also reduced, so 200 is the max HP, so the red Evo armor is 200 HP. This means the time to kill in general is reduced. The slight issue is where we have weapon meta that was based on previous armor, we now have powerful weapons against weaker armor. To be fair, I think all this does is really just change the gameplay style in Apex and probably brings it in line with other battle royales. Apex Legends always had a stronger armor meta than most battle royales, and I think that's probably one of the things the Apex community really liked about the game, but I also think there's a really simple solution to it. I personally love the idea of dropping with a level 0 Evo armor, having Evo armor throughout the game and that being the only armor you can get, and being able to pick up pre-leveled up Evo armor. I think all of that is brilliant and we should definitely keep it. I think just restructuring the way Evo armor works is the solution, and by that I'm saying we can remove the red Evo armor and we just take the Evo armor back to match the levels we had before. White, blue, purple, where white is 50, blue is 75, and purple is 100 additional HP. If we do that, our meta for the armor will go back in line to what it was before, but we still get all the benefits and the fun of an Evo armor setup. This will then match the weapon meta that we have, and the game will feel so much more balanced, I believe. I do obviously think the devotion and some of the other weapons do still need some tweaks to come in line with each other. I do, like I said, love the Evo armor and how it works in Season 6. If they just change the structure of the Evo armor, I think it will revolutionize Season 6 for sure. Finally, let's talk about that half reason, that 0.5 reason why I think people are complaining about Season 6. And this one might be a bit of a subconscious reason, because I think it revolves around Olympus. You see, at the end of Season 6, Olympus was so heavily teased, not just by data miners and people speculating, but by the game itself. The end of Broken Ghosts said we're heading to Olympus. So I think people's expectations, genuine beliefs, were that we would be getting a new map, and that became their expectation. They were preparing themselves for a new map. It almost became a reality that it was going to happen. Except then we got closer to Season 6 and realised we weren't getting a new map. I feel this just dampened people's feelings. I guess it's like that thing at Christmas where you've got your list and you give it to Santa and you've got that one thing that you really want. The other stuff is kind of stuff you would like, but at the top of that list is that one thing you really want. And then you open all your presents on Christmas Day and you realise you didn't get that one thing at the top of your list. Even if you got most of the other stuff on your list, you'll be super happy. But in the back of your head, you'll still think, I didn't get that one thing I really, really wanted. I feel like that's kind of what this Olympus situation is. I would say Respawn have done a really great job in working through these difficult times. You know, the way video game companies are structured, they've got this agile setup where it really relies on collaboration in a physical collaboration space. That's how they work. All the testing they do is normally quite physical, although they use virtual machines now, you know, it does rely a lot on that collaboration aspect. So with the difficult times that we're in and everything being remote, it does make things a little bit harder. So we need to definitely respect that, but definitely let's respect the fact that Respawn are still doing an amazing job. They've given us so much new stuff in Season 6 that they could easily have just delayed even further. So I think we need to give them a bit of respect for that and a bit of leadway to improve things, which I'm certain they will do. Ultimately, this is the way I see it. Respawn will do a few patches throughout Season 6, obviously they'll do their LTM sort of mid-Season 6, and through all of that we'll slowly see Season 6 improve, but I really think Season 7 is going to be the pinnacle. So here's my advice. I think Season 7 will be the one where we get cosplay, a new map, and all the amazing things we want in Apex Legends. So let's keep having fun, let's keep playing Season 6, and let's use Season 6 as our practice and just a bit of fun to prepare ourselves for the greatest season ever with Season 7. And those are just my thoughts based on what I've seen people talking and complaining about on social media and the issues that I faced. I still enjoy and think Season 6 is amazing, but I recognise there are still some of these issues. Let's just stick with it and let's keep enjoying Apex Legends. I hope you're with me, my community, and I hope you enjoyed our little chat. I've enjoyed talking with you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.